It's Fusion Radio with Brian Stinson and the homie Keith, man. Man, it's all about celebrating dope people on this radio show every single week. And, man, get super excited about doing it, man. I run across so many people that show love to us and follow us, man, that, showcase the talent on social media. And this next one right here, man, I reached out to him and I said, man, I absolutely want to have you on the show, man. He's always working on his craft, man, and super excited, man, about getting into his whole move, man, sharing some music with you and everything. Those of you that's listening and viewing, man, my homie, man, Juby DaGod, man, in the building, man. What's happening?
Man, nothing much, man. I'm chilling. How you feeling, man?
Well, man, super excited once again, man, about having you, man, getting into this movement, man. So talk to me about, man, people that influence you to want to do music.
Man, I started off with like growing up in the choir and stuff. So, singing in church, Kirk Franklin, people like that. And then I grew up listening to like Lil Wayne, so I started rapping that way. But J. Cole was like the person that made me realize I wanted to actually do this because I related to him a lot. So it was easy for me to kind of get that out and cope that way.
No doubt, man. Talk to us, man, about, man, when did you decide that, you wanted to actually do this? Like, it's one thing to hear them. It's another thing to actually try it. But it's another thing to say, that's what I want to do as far as a career.
Yeah, I had started like 3 years ago, I would say, 2021. I had went to go see J. Cole in concert, my first concert ever. And I was in the nosebleeds and I seen him for the first time and it was like a bird's eye view. I was like, yeah, I gotta be on the stage. I can't be sitting over here waiting to see these people. I gotta be on the stage. I got music. I'm getting better at it. And I feel like I got the ability to actually relate to these people. So I wanted to be in that company.
So, Juby DaGod, though, your stage name. How did you eventually end up coming up with that?
It actually came from basketball. Because I played high school basketball, and a lot of people used to say, like, the way that my shot form was, it was godlike. So at first, people started calling me godlike Jube. But I just felt it was better to go Juby DaGod, especially when it came to rapping, because it just flowed better in my head. So that's what kind of stuck with me.
And, like, so is that just one Pacific shirt that you got, or that's like a clothing brand you got? Because I'm sitting there reading your shirt and it got your name on there, so I'm like,
oh yeah, it's one of my merch items. Because my first mixtape ever, this is the cover art I had made myself.
Okay.
So I just decided to put it on the shirt and started selling it as merch. So the name of the mixtape is called Written in Red, and it's basically, if you read the Bible, it's like, how Jesus, everything he says is written in red. That's how I wanted my music to be for my first mixtape. Everything I wrote was parables, anything in my life, anything in anybody else's life, but relating to me in the real world, in real time. So that's how it was for me.
So with you touching on this first tape, let's just go back to this first tape. So, like, when did you put that first tape out, and, like, what was your plan as far as, like, what was the message you really wanted to give off, and, like, what type of talent you wanted to show with that tape?
Oh, the first tape, I wasn't even really taking music serious at that point. This was like early 2021, but I've been working on music 2020, 2019, because I've been doing music since I was 16 years old. I'm 22. So when like the third year of me actually recording myself, I was just trying to get as much music as possible. And then after my first year of college, I decided, I want to put in a mixtape, because I've been making music for a while. I've been posting like snippets, but I never released anything. So I just decided to put a bunch of music together and be like, I got a mixtape. This is what it's called. And I really wasn't aiming it at anybody. I just wanted something to show my friends, pretty much, like, I put something together. I'm doing something that's different than what I usually do, which is put a whole project together. And that's where Written in Red came from. But it was mainly songs about my life experience at that point, when it came to how I used to approach life, how my friends approach life, or how I used to see the perspective of my parents, or whatever the case may be. That was my main thing when it came to that mixtape. I wanted to be deep, and I wanted to relate to whoever listened to it.
So with you knowing now, like, with the different responses and the different feedback that you got from that album, what do you feel like is certain things that you could have necessarily, I wouldn't say changed, but you probably could have did a little bit better? Or like what certain things that you necessarily did, like that you learned in the first album that helped you transition into making a better album, like when you end up making a second one?
I really learned taking your time, because at first I was just like go, and I would make a lot of music in a short amount of time, and I'm a writer. Like, I can freestyle, but I'm a writer at heart, so I take my time to make sure there's intention with whatever I'm saying. So I usually pick songs just because I like them. I really didn't pick songs based on the time frame that I made them or the reason why they're going on the project, because it was just like, all right, music. Let's just put it all together on this one tape. Even if they don't correlate, they just sound good together. And let me just put it out there. Now I'm kind of like being more strategic with it, making sure that whatever group of music, at least they relate. They're at a certain point in my life, or they're at a certain point where they all correlate. So I'm trying to take my time and not be so eager to like jump the gun when it comes to dropping music, and also just putting a group of songs that I have together, because it all makes sense for a reason.
Fusion Radio with Brian Stenson and Keys. Got our brother, man, in here, man, Juby DaGod, man, enjoying this conversation, man. Describe your style and sound as someone that's hearing you for the first time on Fusion Radio.
Man, my style is uplifting, transparent, and honest. I like to only give what I have in my music, to put it very simply, but I like to make people feel good and make people feel like they're not alone, especially when it comes to sad times, happy times. I got a music of a bunch of different variations, very versatile, and I can also really rap. I'm really keen on lyrics. I'm a real lyricist, so I try to incorporate that in the song making, because there is a difference. A lot of people don't know there's a difference, but I try to song make and then be a lyricist at the same time.
So, man, we got an example of your greatness, man. We got actually two examples, man. Better Days and then Hair Tie Beauty, man. Which one you want to play first, and then talk to us about it?
Oh, I really want people to hear that Better Days first. I got a choir on that song, so I'm excited about that one.
All right, so, man, give us the backdrop as far as what was the inspiration behind Better Days.
So the Better Days song was mainly about seeing my life right now and knowing that I'm not where I want to be, and I wanted to actually implement that there's better days to come. You know, this is not forever. Wherever I'm at right now is not forever. So the fact that better days are coming, that's what I really wanted to focus on. And putting the choir on it just put that extra oomph to it that it really needed.
It's Fusion Radio, Brian Stenson at the Homie Keys, man. We got our brother, man, Juby DaGod, man. Better Days is in your ears right now.
Days have been pretty ugly, so I'm messing myself with this beautiful jewelry. Blooding myself to the public, craving affection, risking my privacy. Some days I get sick of my mind and them troubling times, they ain't never been out of me. Season I'm shopping the image, the rappers, the bottles, the women. I'm just a regular dude with regular issues, the bills and the bonds and the business. Far from the average Joe, I still do show for the frisbee on campus so people can meet me. Greet me and tell me the truth, what you think of my music. I'm used to the boost of the peace keep. Change don't come, it's gonna be better than this. Yeah. It's gonna be better. I was hypnotized thinking I eluded poverty. One refund check, hit my account. It got me thinking about property. What I'ma do with these bands after the catch up? I had to come up like cold in the summer. I like trying to hit me with bows. The presents and presents don't really seem heavily, but I'ma take it and keep it 100. People like me take the best out the situation. I ain't working for nothing. Somebody dies every day. I done got too close like diabetics with that glucose. I'm trying tryna dab on my Cujo, numero uno. Life is supposed to be easy, we making it through.
I wouldn't necessarily say like I'm jealous, but like it's to the point where you did something that I've been trying to do for like years. And like how that just sounded amazing, you feel me? So it's like, first off, I just want to go into the whole fact of like, what was your headspace at to even think to do that with inquiring or like putting a quiet into that song? And then once you tell me that, how did you end up eventually figuring out the way to use them in the best way possible? Because I done heard a lot of people try to do that, but a lot of people don't know how to do it, and they songs still don't hit how they supposed to, like with the addition to the, you feel me?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, for me, like I wrote the song completely without them at first. And I go to school in North Carolina. So at first I wrote the song. I got a couple of friends who I know that sing, and I let them hear the song at first. Then I'm hearing them sing. I'm like, why don't y'all sing on it? I had two of my friends, they're girls. I was like, why don't y'all sing on it at first? I had them sing on it. And then I had the idea because one of my friends are like the chair of the gospel choir. And it was actually a dirty version at first. It was like I was cussing it in a little bit, but I decided to make it whole clean, just completely clean, because the only way I can get the gospel choir on it is if I made it clean completely. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to completely strip all the cuss words and everything, make it clean, and I'm going to bring the choir in. And it was like a studio like 15 minutes from the dorm. I brought all of them to the studio, at least like 8 of them out of like 20 of them. They had like 20 people, but brought 8 of them to the studio, and I recorded a documentary because I'm good with the camera and stuff too, so I do documentaries and stuff. Brought them there, made a documentary on how we made it. And since she's so good on teaching people songs, she knew it already months in advance, so she was just directing them on how to do what. You know, you got the tenors, you got the alto, you got everybody in one spot. You got like 2 of each part of the choir, and she just directing them as she can. And I'm helping as much as I can, you know, because I know the song, how it is, and then she knows it from a singing perspective. A singing perspective. So it was like, with our 2 minds, it was just like, yeah, we can get this done.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm listening to it, and it gave me the vibe of like a young Kanye. That's the kind of vibe it gave me. Like, cause like, me personally, I love when artists do different things, you feel me? Or like get outside of the box. So like, that's one reason why like in the beginning stages of Kanye's career, like I really loved Kanye music in his younger stages of his career, cause it was like, the passion he had and like the drive he had, but with the ideas he was doing it with, like doing things like that, like, and I done seen different videos of like Kanye writing songs or making music with different choirs and stuff like that, and it's just so cold, because when you think about the actual words and what you saying and the melodies and the vibe and the whole, because okay, I done got to the part as to the level as an artist where I appreciate more of the process of making music now. You know what I mean? So like the whole part of you bringing them in and that bringing that different sound into that song, because like, bro, if you take them out that song, that's a totally different song.
Exactly.
With a totally different flow, with a totally different vibe to it. So it's like now that song doesn't get to its full potential and it don't hit the same if they're not on it. So it's like, just me listening to that and me understanding it, that's what makes like that type of music so cold, because it's like you then took it to another level. Now it's like you're not just a regular Chicago artist, like you on a whole nother stratosphere with how you thinking and how you going about your business, and I love that.
I appreciate that for real.
So like, as far as like just how you adopted this mindset of how you wanted to go about your music though, because I know you said in the beginning like you started off in church and you had different type of things around you as far as music that influenced you to become an artist, but like what really made you take the approach? Because like you in the city of Chicago,
Right.
that per se is not what we known for when it comes to music. So, and you 22, you feel me? So you at a certain age where you grew up around a certain type of vibe when it came to music, like as far as like drill music.
Right.
So like, what eventually made you say like, okay, there's nothing wrong with drill music. I know I could probably make drill music, but that's not me, and that's not the vibe I'm trying to give out. So like, what made you go that route with it though?
I had two sides of the coin. So I grew up in Roseland, a lot, like the Wild Wild Hundreds. I grew up on like Lafayette, 102nd Lafayette, and I went to Cone Elementary. So before it closed down, it was a bunch of controversy with my family as like a unit, because like my family like to think we have generational curses. My pops, he was involved in the stuff that drill rappers do. He was involved in it. My mom, she was a hardworking woman, and she often had to like pay bills, whatever the case may be, been evicted, all types of stuff. But me, as a middle child in my family, I was a middle child. I'm looking at both sides of the coin. Like, I don't live that. I can't portray something I don't live, especially because I'm not keen to that area, and it never attracted me either. I was really keen on the type of music that I listen to now back then, but I didn't realize it back then until I grew up and I matured and I actually understood it. So seeing like Kanye, I really loved Kanye growing up. I had a Drake phase growing up. I had an Eminem phase. Like those type of people, they're not drill rappers. So there's no possible way that I could take anything from them. I love the drill because like it's lit. Like everybody liked the drill and everybody liked the trap and everything like that. But even though I'm from the block, we all from the block, but not everybody has to take that route. So that's where I was like, okay, let me divvy out, especially because I was always keen for college too. I was bound for college. I played basketball, went there to play basketball. So I knew I was college bound, and you don't know a lot of drill rappers that go to college. So the fact that I'm already not in that company as is, let me try and make something that's different from people that I grew up listening to. Let me make it in my style, and let me also give people an outlet and something that they can relate to. Because I realized that even though there's a lot of drill rappers and a lot of drill music, that's not the only thing that's on the playlist. J. Cole is on that playlist somewhere, no matter if it's just no role models. His most viewed song, like that's somewhere on their playlist, next to Chief Keef, next to Dirt, next to Herb, next to all of them. You're going to find some J. Cole, you're going to find some Kanye, or you're going to find a playlist in a whole status of playlist with something like that. So I'm like, all right, there's room for somebody like me who wants to make different music, especially in the city of Chicago, because people love it. At the same time, they love the drill. But when you're different from the drill and you're good at what you do, because a lot of people try to do it and they're not that good at it, or they try it and they don't have a passion. They thinking there's money behind it. Me, I did it because I love doing it. And if the money comes, it's going to come. So I just move with that mentality at all times.
So, man, you said so much for me to sort of like break down, like so much like dopeness, man. Like I want to go back to college, man, because I see, man, that you going to be wrapping it up with your last semester. So let's go back to the beginning as far as why did you choose the college that you chose, and then memorable moments from college as you get ready to, go to the fall and August and wrap it up.
I started in 2020. It was COVID year, but I had, like, when I was in high school, I was really, like, AB honor roll, keen to everything. Like, that was the thing I was doing. AB honor roll, made sure I was involved in something. I played basketball, National Honor Society, whatever. And then I went to college, COVID hit, and I kind of had a pause. Everything was, like, slowing down, and I wasn't as ambitious with the schoolwork. So I needed something else to drive me out of whatever slump I was in, because COVID just put a pause on everything. So my freshman year, it was more, we didn't have any games. So it was like just basketball whenever we could, and then schoolwork. But it wasn't that much schoolwork. So it was basketball. Then I picked up music real heavy. But I had like 24 options. It wasn't even my first option. They was the only school that called me to play basketball. So I was like, I'm coming regardless, because y'all say I can hoop. So that whole year, we probably only had like 4 games. And then the next year, that's when we actually had a full season. Everybody got a little better. We lost some players. We gained some players. Had a couple of good games. I got my first dunk in college. So I was like, yeah, let me get one of them. I had to get one before I left. But that was like probably my best basketball career moment. But the dunks, and then I really started getting into the open mics in college. I went to my first open mic outside of school probably a month after like the J. Cole stuff. So it was like October or something. And from there, I just started doing it consistently, continuously. And then I also, in between time, was dropping mixtapes. So I dropped my first one in the summer after my freshman year. The next one in August when I went back to school, like August 11th or something. And then dropped 3 more right after that, I think Halloween, my birthday in November, and then another one in March of my the spring semester of my sophomore year. Then I just paused on dropping music because I didn't want to just keep on dropping it blindly without, I didn't want to keep dropping it to deaf ears. So I was just like, let me just calm down and take my time with this. And then that's where everything came in piece by piece. I met some people who really brought out the best in me and made me happier and brought me at peace with everything that I'm doing. Even though I'm not content, I'm still ambitious, but it really brought happiness out that I didn't have before, especially out there in Carolina, being by myself.
So, man, let's build on something that you told me, man, directly when we were messaging each other and setting it up, man, that you was attending the Dreamville Fest, man. How was that, man? Take us in. Like, I've never been, but I saw all type of photos of different media people and just people that's lovers of music, man, attending that, man. What should we know about that?
Man, Dreamville Fest is kind of like the best festival you can go to, the most wholesome people that you can meet, even if they're not the artists. Like, you will meet some real wholesome people. Because I realized that, like, J. Cole, he only bring people to his festival that he really rock with. So if you don't rock with him, probably not going to be there. Or if you don't talk to him regularly, he probably not going to be there. But if you get a chance to meet those artists in real life, like if you're in VIP, the artists come out to the side. If you meet them, they're going to be genuine people. They're not going to be the, leave me alone, man. Or it's kind of like a home feeling. It's like a home away from home. And I really like that about the festival. And then I knew 2 of the artists beforehand. I met Omen at the Hot Park Summerfest last year. He's a Dreamville artist that really nobody in the city knew about, but he's from Chicago. But I knew who he is, so I'm there like supporting him. And then I got a chance to take a picture with him, met him, then seen him at the festival, and it was just like everything just aligned perfectly, and it just felt like home there.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So I see that you have an EP out right now, and it's called Truth and Consequences. So, like, first, I want you to break down that name. First, break down the name, Truth and Consequences, and then also, you feel me, just break down, like, how many songs is on the tape and stuff like that, and, like, what was you trying to go for with this actual EP?
Okay, so Truth and Consequences is basically an album or EP about telling the truth and being okay with whatever comes with it, no matter what it is. Like being as vulnerable, being as transparent as possible, and not worrying about what's gonna happen next. Like if something bad happens because of it, or somebody's feelings hurt, okay. If it leads to money or whatever, anything that you've been praying for, okay. But it's being content with, I gotta do this. I gotta tell the truth, no matter how much it hurts me, or no matter how much I try to run away from it. So I have, I think 8 songs on there, I believe. I got 8 songs on there. And it changed, the songs didn't change so much. And I originally was going to drop it as a 16-song album. But I kind of cut it in half and just been dropping things piece by piece to try to get some more fans and stuff, you know, strategically moving it. But I dropped it as an EP December of last year, because I didn't want to end the year and go 2 years without dropping any type of project. So the song Better Days, that's one of the first songs on there. Hair Top Beauty, that's another good song on there. It's basically a song for the females who don't feel pretty enough or who don't feel like they fit the criteria of a woman just because they're going through certain things. It's kind of a love for them and for my mom, because that's the person I kind of like wrote it about the most.
So let's do this, man. Let's jump into it and then come back and talk more with the homie, man, Juby DaGod, man. It's Fusion Radio, Brian Stinson, and the homie Keys.
It's hard dealing with your day-to-day. Every in your face, work hard, play hard, tender cake, anime. What's love got to do with that teen inside of you? I know your parents proud, but tell me, are you proud of you? Doing what you gotta do, being busy as you are you satisfied? A lot of people get your passive side, the same who will probably leave you high and dry. Don't worry about it, I won't lie and say you got some time. Girl, the bottom line is, time gon' really pass you by. If you staying grounded, please don't tell me that you scared to fly. Don't give me the words and tell me, baby, that you scared to try. Let me find out your is wasting time. When you let your hair down and you take them clothes off and you clean that makeup off your face and you doze off. Tell me what you dream, the girl that inspires me, and for the sparking little girls who aspire to be you.
That's our beauty, what you do to me all the time. It's hard to find someone like you, one of a kind. How you do it, feel the pain that's all behind. It's hard to find someone like you, one of a kind, baby.
Independent, inconspicuous, inconsistent with. It's something in this liquor and still ain't. She a gooser who you ducking, you cut her off, you pay inches, you lose more than what you getting, cause she ain't perfectly fitting, and it fits so well. She don't wanna be a role model, cause truth is she ain't got it together herself. But most deaf is true magic in not knowing your wealth. But she knowing her worth, and she knowing herself. Even if self-love is coming real soon, it's something coming from the heart. Some losers seem to misuse. Got them texting, I miss you, and it's not that simple just to re-enter. How you left is better since you went, dude. And it's cool, you made her better. Love letters, hit her phone all the time. She ain't asking for attention, but she live with it around. On this road to have her flaws, all the part of how she smiles. Only way to live forever is to seize you right now.
Beauty, that's our beauty, what you do to me all the time. It's hard to find someone like you, one of a kind. How you do it, feel the pain that's all behind. It's hard to find someone like you, one of a kind, baby.
Love who you are. Believe more than what you dream. And be more than what you see. And most of all, stay beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's my boy Juby DaGod, man, with that feel-good music, man. We call that hair tie beauty, man. So just before we get up out of here and stuff like that, because this definitely was a great conversation, you feel me? I love when you different artists come in with y'all different opinions, y'all different views on life, y'all different views on music and stuff like that. And we just had these great conversations. So just before we get up out of here, my last question I want to ask you, like, with all the things that you have accomplished and you have done in your career so far, what's some new things that we should be looking or should be in store to, especially like with the summer coming up, like any more projects or like any shows or anything we should be looking forward to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know I'm a videographer too, so I plan on doing more music videos because I shoot most of my own music videos, but I also want to incorporate documentaries. I want to try to like do some skits, but not like the regular funny skits that a lot of Chicago like comedians do. Shout out them though, because those be funny. But I want to do something that's like a little bit more like TV savvy when it comes to doing skits and stuff. I want to do some like actual acting, and I want to put that and incorporate that into like a short movie for a whole album. That's my goal. with my next project, because I have a bunch of music. So I got like 2 projects that's already done, and I got one of them that I'm working on right now. I try to stay ahead of the curve, so I have a lot of leg room to create, so I don't get stuck.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. So, like I said before, it was definitely a great conversation. Definitely appreciate you coming in, chopping it up with us. Cause like me and bro always say, when we be having our little discussion, we be talking like, yeah, this is our platform, but our platform won't be nothing without y'all. Especially, y'all, like I said, you great artists coming up here, bringing y'all great music, bringing y'all great attitudes, being professional, you feel me? Coming up here doing y'all thing, you feel me? So I definitely appreciate you. So before we get up out of here, though, and we call it an end to this episode of Fusion Radio, just get the people out your social medias and stuff like that so they can follow your movement and get in tune with your music.
Oh yeah, so y'all can follow me on Instagram at @1 and only Juby. That's the number 1 ANDONLY JUBY. Same thing on Twitter, TikTok, Juby DaGod. Simple as that, JUBYDAGOD. Juby DaGod on all streaming platforms. You can go get those 2 songs and the entire EP, Truth and Consequences, on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you go to find your music. Got a bunch of old music on YouTube, Juby DaGod on YouTube too. And I appreciate y'all for even having me, for real.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. So we going to retire, man. We going to go ahead and call this episode 1, man. And like I said, just stay in tune with us, what we doing here on social media, on the radio, on whatever we doing, man. So thank you again for tuning in, and we going to tune in another day, man. See y'all later.